class, how are you today? I hope everybody's presentations are going well. Hopefully mine will be okay. I'm sending my clone to you because my topic, hopefully my board is up here. Boing! My topic is cloning in the farming industry. Okay? So I'm going to start off by basically telling everybody what cloning is. If you don't know, cloning is the scientific process of taking genetic traits of a plant or animal and copying them to making an exact replica. So it's the same thing, different time period, different size, but it's the same thing. So far, there's a lot of things that have been cloned. A lot of our fruits and vegetables are cloned. There's farm animals that's been cloned. There's rats, mice, dogs. No primates actually have been cloned yet, but I think that's interesting. But I continue anyway. How does cloning work? Well, I think that I probably can try to show you better than I can tell you, so hopefully I won't lose anybody in this process. What first needs to happen, of course, is you need to find something that you would like to clone. In this case, I like emerald, and I like food, so I'm going to clone emerald. Bam! We're going to clone them, okay? So in order to clone emerald, what we're going to need is a host, and so what we have as a host is pig. Mr. Pig, because it has good belly and you know, can feed it on nutrients, and Emerald likes to cook pork, so we're gonna you know, Mr. Pig's gonna be your host. Now hosts are similar to like surrogates, so they, you know, hold a baby, they carry them to the term of the pregnancy, however long that they may be, and then they have a clone. So this pig's belly hurts. Oh, my belly hurts. Okay, this pig. Because they're having a clone. But unfortunately, in the process of having a clone, Mr. Pig dies, which actually happens quite often with the host of clones. Oftentimes the clone surrogate or the clone host doesn't make it. But the good thing is we have a clone emerald. Now, there's a couple of things I would like to talk to you about this clone. The first thing is, depending on the time that emerald was cloned, big emerald was cloned, basically depends on how long this clone will live. And the sooner the clone is made or cloned, the better, because if not, this would just have a progressed life period. Like for instance, if he was cloned after someone who has like age 50 genes, what's going to happen to him in like 10 years, it's going to be like old man emerald. And we all know what happens when people, you know, get old, they eventually die. So that's what eventually what happens to the clone. And what's not known, and it's often debated, is that do clones really have some type of problems later on? No one really knows, because if something were, I don't think anybody would say so. But I think another problem would be like, I don't know if you can see this, but like this is, you know, this is emerald grown up. But look, he doesn't have a hand, so he can't even cook right. So like, I don't know, he may have some type of defect. And if that's the case, then the clone wasn't successful, in my opinion. But that's neither here nor there. That's basically how cloning works. So we got through that part, yay! Now, the next part, the pros and cons of cloning farm animals. Someone turn it, please. Thank you. It says, we'll talk about the pros first. Now, some of these are very opinionated, not my opinion. I'm just telling you the research that I found. So the first pro of cloning animals, I'm reading the board, is everyone eats, and they eat more consistently. Meats may have more nutritional value, and the reason why that was said is basically that they can inject, you know, the meats with some type of like proteins and vitamins, just so that it'll have more of a nutritional value. They say that it tastes better. I don't know if I've ever eaten clone meat, so I really can't tell you if it tastes better or not, but I guess they assume that because of all the things that they're pumping into it, it'll just taste yummy, I guess. The food will be cheaper because it's easier. You don't have to keep growing and making these. Well, they say the food will be cheaper. I don't really understand that, being as though cloning is so expensive. But I guess if you clone the food, then you don't have to worry about breeding, and you don't have to worry about their offsprings and taking care of them when they're sick. I'm guessing that's the logic, but not 100% on that. So, question and answer period. Please ask Dr. J. And then, of course, it makes scientists look good. I mean, that's great. Great job for the scientists. Some cons, which are negative things, just in case you don't know, is that cloning is expensive. I'll tell you exactly how expensive it is to clone a little cow. Matter of fact, I'll tell you now, it takes $20,000 to clone a cow. $20,000. $20,000. Wow. So, the second con is that we are uncertain on all of the health and safety issues, just like I showed you the, the emerald with no. Sorry. We just don't know. We just don't know. The cruelty to animals, and that's what I was trying to show you when Mr. Pig didn't make it through the pregnancy of the clone. And another reason, it's just going to be another reason for America to hate, you know, other countries to hate America, because we're going to tax them. We're going to tax the hell out of them. And, you know, they're just going to be upset. More upset. And then furthermore, that the poor countries will never be able to sustain themselves because they'll always be dependent on someone else to produce their food, and of course it's going to cost a lot, so it costs a lot of moolah. Get it? Moolah. Money? Okay, whatever, you gotta be there, I guess. So, it costs a lot of money in order to clone the cows, and a lot of people don't even eat cows, so I guess it's expensive to clone the sheep and, you know, the goats and all that stuff too. So, clone is expensive. Okay, so the next board, if we turn around, I shoot the second one, it says cloning in the media. Now, I just picked 2 articles, mainly because I didn't turn in 1 or 2 articles, I'm not sure, so I'm going to talk about them now, and hopefully I get my article credit. But no, seriously, people, I picked 2 articles, one like a pro for cloning, the other one's, of course, against cloning, and I just want to highlight some of the things that it says. The first one, the title is, that's not right. Okay, the title of the first one is Europe is Crazy About Cloned Food, and it's from the Rationalist. And of course, the opening argument is that although no safety concerns have been identified so far with meat produced from cloned animals, this technique raises serious issues about animal welfare, the duration of biodiversity, as well as ethical concerns. So those are their main concerns, and what it also talks about is that they have concerns about the animals getting sick because, of course, as we know about mad cow disease and stuff like that. Another quote from that same article is saying that the history record of mass food poisoning in Europe offers a cautionary tale. From the 9th to 19th centuries, Europe suffered a succession of epidemics caused by contamination of rye with ergot, a poisonous mold that produces the potent toxin, consumption of which induces hallucinations, bizarre behaviors, and violent muscle twitching, which is basically all the characteristics of mad cow disease. So they're kind of concerned that that there's not enough studies done on the meat, and that being as though there's not enough studies done on the meat, that, you know, they fear that that may not be the best thing right now. But other than that, they think that, hey, if they, okay, it's great meat. The other one, and I thought that was more interesting because I didn't know that, I didn't know that they had the Union of Concerned Scientists, and that's what the UCS is. And basically, they were coming together and they were asking the FDA, which came out with a very startling, it's startling to me because I think it's a bunch of crap, but I'll tell you about that later. It came out with basically an article or a survey that says that, hey, cloned animals are great, they're good. So basically they were just wanting the FDA to conduct a more comprehensive study about the safety and the welfare of not only the cloned animals, but all the food and the dairy products that will come from the offspring of clones. So it says that everything, although they seem what they normal, it really may not be. So they want to just kind of make sure everybody's safe. Because what I did not know is that it's a word. It's moratorium, moratorium, I think it's called. Basically, that, whatever it is basically saying that if that is lifted, that the people who make and clone these animals and their offspring do not have to tell the consumers what they're eating. They do not have to tell the consumers that, hey, these eggs came from Betty, which is a clone of Betty Jr. or something like that. And they don't have to tell you that the milk you're drinking is from not the original cow, but the clone cow. So they don't have to tell you those things if that M word is lifted. So before it is lifted, the concerned scientist just wanted to be like, hey, please guys, take another look. So that is that board. And if someone could just turn the board around again, and we'll go to the next one. We have the next one yet? Okay. So the next one basically says that, if you see my little picture right there, it's two pigs. Like, are clone pigs, like, are they really that happy? I don't think so. I don't think that they're happy at all. But that's neither here nor there. Sorry, I'm looking at the thing. Now, if we go to the next board, which is probably the one I just asked you to turn from, but if we go to that one, we go back to it. We're going back to it? Great. It says that, big bold letters, FDA conspiracy. Is it all really picture perfect? If you see a little picture on the board covered by a little frame, that's basically the article that FDA came out with. I'm going to read you their 3 main conclusions about cloning. The first one, it says cloning possesses no unique risk to animal health compared to the risk found with other reproduction methods, including natural mating. Doubt it. The composition of food products from cattle, swine, and goat clones, or the offspring of any animal clones, is no different from that conventionally bred animals. Doubt it. And because of the preceding 2 conclusions, there are no additional risks to people eating food from cattle, swine, and goat clones, or the offspring of any clones traditionally consumed as food. Do I have to say it again? Doubt it. So basically, I think the FDA is full of crap, because what they like to do is they like to always push items out on the market to be sold, but there's not enough evidence supporting the fact that everything's okay. I don't know how long these studies are, because they don't say it in this particular study, but I just think that that's a little premature. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to just let you have that by yourself, and you can think about it, you can dwell on that. But before I leave you guys, I want to give you some fun facts. Okay? Like, some fun facts are, in cattle, it's really not, the first one's not so fun. It says in cattle, for example, 3 of the 12 host mothers died during pregnancy. That's like a 4th, I'm pretty sure. That's a 4th. That's depressing, it's 25%. It says that cloning success rates are as low as 10%, so $20,000 at 10%. Wow, it's a bet. What I don't like, and this is the FDA needs to look at this, it says, if a cloned animal survives birth and the first 6 months of its life, the FDA maintains that the animal is healthy. However, significant health problems in cloned mice have manifested up to 15 months. In cattle or other large animals, such long-term health problems would take years to discover. I knew they were wrong. See, we just need to look more at these cloned animals. I'm just telling you. But another fun fact, because I'm pretty sure I'm over my time. Scientists have managed to clone 15 kinds of mammals, like I told you before, but again, no primates, because we're just too good. A Texas-based company began cloning champion horses in March 2000 that can sell for as much as $150,000 per horse. $150,000 is a lot of money to spend on a clone horse, especially if it doesn't win. It's like, oh yay, I bet on clone. Oh, out, $150,000. It's depressing. But oh, last fun fact. Okay, last fun fact. House cats can be cloned privately for $32,000. But remember our little emerald thing. So if you clone a house cat, make sure you do it as a kit. I'm Vanessa's clone, signing out. Thank you guys. Dr. J, you got my questions? Thanks.